Alright guys, what's going on? As you can see here, I have actually put the rhyme in here, and upon seeing hickory dickory dock spelled with O's, I changed that over. But now we're actually going to use a rhyme and not just use silly made up names. And we have this paragraph. So, we're going to take a look at fonts. And if you were to Google W3, which is the web style guide, W3 fonts, you're going to come up with this page, which shows you a bunch of the font features that are built into your web browser. Now you notice how they have all these fonts, but they kind of look all the same for these, and they have what it should look like if you actually had the actual font on to the right. Now, if you read this, it actually says the font that you want first, then other fonts that may fill in the first if it's unavailable, and then you should list the 5 generic fonts, which is serif. So there's sans serif, there's serif, there's monospace, cursive, and then fantasy. Those are the 5 built-in generic fonts for every browser. And then the other fonts are you may or may not have in a browser. So what you want to do is you're going to list the one that you actually want. So you would have impact, and then you would have a backup as like fantasy. So let's go to the top. Actually, let's cut down to here. Times New Roman is pretty common. So if I were to take Times New Roman here, and I copied it and go to my styles, and I'm going to just make all of my P tags font family colon, and then you put I'm going to paste that right in there. But so this says Times New Roman. So first it's going to look for Times. If it doesn't have Times, it's going to look for Times New Roman. If it doesn't have that, it's going to default to serif. Now notice how half of this is white. If it is multiple words with spaces, you're going to put quotes around them, so that way it actually knows that it's all one word that it's looking for. Semicolon. I'm going to save that. Well, not that kind of save. I'm going to save over here, rather. And then you're going to notice that it actually is Times New Roman. So if I pull up that web page, you got Times New Roman, and then this is the matching text. So if I were to try one more, let's grab impact and fantasy. So I'll go back to here, and I will type in impact as my first choice, and you can kind of see there, they'll suggest languages. So we're going to do impact, and then we're going to do fantasy. We'll save it, go to our page, so that's that, and then look at that. It's actually a pretty cool font. I'm going to leave that. Actually, I'm going to make that my H1, right? And then I'm going to copy this. I'm going to paste it up here. So now my CSS is going to stay impact. So if I play around with the other ones, we'll see if it works. So what you should do now is you should pause the video and then try out some of these fonts. And then you'll kind of see what is and what isn't included in. So if I pop this in, paste it, save it, and then try it out, it's going to look the same. It doesn't have that. So a lot of these you're going to find out there aren't actually built in, and we will have to add that in, which we will take a look at in just a few moments. And if you look at this, you're going to see some other things. You're going to see some font styles, which is normal, italic, and oblique, which, if you know the difference between them and you're really into text or typography, you're going to see, you're going to be more, know the difference between these. I don't know if you'll actually use the styles all that often. Weights you will probably use, and you can see kind of, if you add font weight 100, you see how it's going to be lighter. Font weight 900 is going to be a lot thicker. So play around with that as well. So if you were to have multiple, and I didn't close this out. If you were to have multiple in there, you would see that you just put a semicolon, and then right behind it, you could do font weight 100 or 900. With impact, I don't think you're going to see too much of a difference, but see how it looks thicker, but you would never use this because that's pretty aggressive. But it is there if that is what the look you're going with. Or I'm actually going to change this out to a different font so it looks a little bit cleaner there. So I'm going to go back to my Times New Roman. So I'm going to paste that in and put my quotes around this because it's multiple words. Save it. And we got Hickory Dickory Dock. And I forgot my semicolon. Save it. And then we have a thicker version of Times New Roman. So that is your font's weight. And then there's variants, which is small caps and normal, which you see that how the caps are a little bit different in size, which I don't know if you'll ever use that. The same with stretch. You may or may not use that. So play around with them. You can kind of do those on your own. I'm not going to go through all those. And then you see all the fonts that are there. Now, the other thing is using fonts that aren't built into our webpage. Now, how would we go to that? The easiest way, you can include it onto your website, which later down the road we'll take a look at. But if we're going to do an easy version of it, what you can do is you can go Google Fonts, enter, and then you're going to see they have an entire web page of fonts that you can easily add onto your page and include for other people to use. So there are tons and tons of ones, and I'm going to find one. Let's look for lobster. I like lobster. Well, that's the text. Search lobster over here. So this is a lobster text, and I think it's pretty cool. I like it. It's kind of a cursive, thick writing. So let's add this to our CSS. Now, how will we do that? They actually have, so you can actually download it, include on your page, which we're not going to do right now. We're going to select this style, and we're going to embed this style. And it'll automatically show you a link for that file. So look at link href, a link to Google's font there, and then relations style sheet. So it's just like a CSS style sheet. And we're going to copy that, and then we're going to go back to our web page, our HTML file. We're going to go hit enter and hit link, hit tab, and we'll have the href there. We're going to save this right into our page. Oh, you see how they did that there? And actually, I made this double. So let's go back. I want to make sure this is right. So hit link. Let's type link. I don't know why I did that. So link, tab. See, this should be once. Oh, you know what happened? So this is actually a learning moment. It actually already made the link tag. So I was trying to put link twice, so that wouldn't have worked. So I don't even need to do it now. I could just paste this link directly in there, and it already has everything built in. Hit save, right? And then if you look on here, CSS rules to specify families. So font family, lobster, and then backup of cursive. So let's copy that. And let's go to our page, and we'll take away this font weight. We'll just erase all that. And then we're going to put that as our text. Now look at that. That is some beautiful looking Hickory Dickory Dock. The mouse went up the clock. All right. So you can kind of look around and see all the different type of fonts. You can play around with them, add them. There's a lighter lobster too, which is actually pretty cool as well. And kind of play around, check out some fonts that you may want to use for any ideas on the website you might want to make. But that is pretty much using fonts in a nutshell.